guys, coming to you today from the SUV. Pringles. She's passed out. She's tired. Dad went to the office a little too early this morning. That's okay. She'll get very excited when we're at home and she gets her food. Get you guys set up here. Well, I wrote an article this week that is getting published in one of the local magazines here in Orlando. It's entitled, "Where Is All My Traffic Gone?" And the article discusses why websites are getting less traffic and how AI is one of the culprits within that. And so I figured I'd devote a video today to kind of talking about that a little bit, but not just the fact that there isn't that much, or that there's a traffic loss, that there isn't that much to be had in the long run with respect to what Google has to offer, but also the fact that it's a conundrum for me. AI has some amazing possibilities, but I think us humans are going to completely fuck it up. And therefore, it scares the shit out of me. Before I get into the philosophical aspects of all of this, if you're a small business owner and you're listening to this and you're watching this, be careful about getting really upset with your digital marketing agency because your traffic is down. You need to do your homework before you do that, because on average, and we are now in, where are we now? October 2025. In the last year and a half, on average, websites traffic is down about 15%. Why? You've got AI overviews stealing most of it in the Google search engine. And then, of course, you have your large language models out there that are driving AIs like ChatGPT and Perplexity and Gemini and Grok. I don't know. Name your poison. Anyway, if you're a small business owner and you're noticing a downturn in your business, sure, the economy right now has something to do with it, but you need to pivot, and you need to pivot now. Google is losing market share at an astonishing rate, and they're doing a fantastic job keeping that quiet. Just to illustrate this into numbers, and by the way, if you go to our website, gettheclicks.com, you can find that article, or do a search for gettheclicks.com, "Where Has All My Traffic Gone?" and it'll pop right up. But thing is that 3 months after ChatGPT 1.0 was launched, Google hit an all-time high of market share in the United States of 94.34%. And things were great. That was a very short-lived victory, however, because soon thereafter, as people discovered ChatGPT, especially when 2.0 of ChatGPT rolled out, you can absolutely see a downturn in the traffic that's actually hitting Google. Fast forward 2 years, roughly, give or take a month or two, And Google's market share is down to roughly 86% in the United States. Well, the last time Google was at 86% was like 2015, 2016. Okay? So, just to illustrate this, it's down roughly 8%. And it lost that in about 2 years. It took them 8 years to get it. So what they got in 8, they lost in 2. They're losing it at 4 times the pace than they have gained it. That's not sustainable. And they may not be admitting it, but they're not happy. They're in panic mode. I would be in panic mode. I can completely understand that. But that's their problem, not ours. We are small business owners. We need to pivot. We need to understand that this is happening. We need to confront the brutal facts and not stick our head in the sand. We need to understand that generative engines, such as your ChatGPTs, are going to become the search ecosystems of the future. As a matter of fact, I will argue that we are going to stop doing that search, and products like what you can see with Project Mariner, which actually is a Google product, are probably going to take over, which means you can throw something in a generative engine and say, hey, I want to book a hotel room in Atlantic City for one upcoming weekend. I don't even care which one it is. I don't want to spend more than $400, and I want to bring Pringles. Go. Well, Project Manager, which is an AI agent, will go out. First of all, check my calendar for availability. Then go and find me a cost-effective room that matches, frankly, whatever parameters I want it to be, within that price range, dog-friendly, so on and so forth, and book it for me. And you might think, wow, that's really cool. And I say, yeah, that is cool. All right? That's amazing for lazy people who don't want to use their brains. But I digress. Anyway, you are now no longer going to a website. You don't have to. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. You no longer have to go to a website. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that there's a future out there where your website for your small business is going to be obsolete. It's not going to matter. Which sounds crazy. Dare I say fucking crazy, but it is. And so you need to consider what that means. Is it in the immediate future? No. Is it in the near future? Depends what your definition of near is. That being said, the world is changing, my friends, and if you are not going to change with it, you are going to die. And if you think the way that you have been getting business leads, like you have for the last decade or so, you better think again. Things are moving. Things are moving in a completely different direction. And it is no one else's fault but yours to consider that and have an honest-to-God conversation with whomever you work with that is in charge of helping you build your business. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about some things that you can do that will actually help you with this. All right. Number one, you have to understand that Google isn't just going to roll over. All right? That's a publicly traded company. They can't afford to roll over. So they're going to do everything they can not to roll over. All right? You got to build your brand. It is the number one most distinguishing factor in that. All right? We're talking old school brand development. We're talking public relations. We're talking press releases. We're talking the dreaded social media or YouTube videos. All right? We are talking Reddit. We're talking those platforms. Get your name, get your brand out there, and you will actually stand a chance. The other thing is content. Now, content is king. Yes, I'm sure everybody knows that. And lots of SEO companies will tell you you got to write content. And that is true. However, there's a structure to that content that now needs to factor into the equation. And it can't be some little blog post about some vanilla topic. It has to be something that is extraordinarily detailed. The goal of your blog topic or article that you're looking to publish is essentially that it is so exhaustive that when somebody has read it, they have no desire to read anything else. That is your goal. That is what you need to accomplish. So, that's how you're going to get your traffic back. So if you're wondering where has my traffic gone, you're probably not doing a lot of those things, and you need to have that conversation with your digital marketing agency to go ahead and get that done. So make that your homework item. Do it. Just do it. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help.